Hare Krishna. How are you?
I'm good, Gurudev. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Radhe. This is Radha Sivanidhi, classic, verse 76. In verse 87, we heard about the rewards that the manjaris receive by being the surrendered maidservants of Radharani. They get the Shri Radhaya Madhura Uchishta, the sweeter than sweet, Madhura Uchishta, that which is left by Radharani after she relishes Mohan's prasad. Mohan's prasad is mixed with Mohini's prasad and becomes Mohan, Mohini, Mahaprasad ki jai. And this is a lot of M's here. Mohan, Mohini, Maha, Manjari, me, and you. So this is very nice. We heard that yesterday. And they're rewarded with prasadam and lavdva. They attain the service of Radharani. Lavdva dasyam ati kripaya, by ati kripa, very excessive kripa. Then one of the sevas that they rewarded with is they're given the massaging opportunity, massaging Radharani's feet. Pushtas Goswami prays for him, Vilakusamanjali. He says, "Hey Rupa, when will you give me a chance to massage the feet that you're massaging?" Because there's even a painting like that by one of my godbrothers. All the Astasakis and Manjaris kneeling, and Radha Krishna Yugal in the middle, and Rati's on one side holding Krishna's feet, opposite side of Krishna. Krishna's there, and Rati's on Radharani's side, so it's crossed. And so here, Shripad in his Manjari Srup absorption, he has that service. It's not in Radharani's feet are not in the hands of Rupa Manjari, but they're in the hands of Shripad. His Manjari name, I don't know, but for these 40 verses, he's in that mood. And that reward is so great, and then he gets the Mohanuchishta, which is Nava Rasa. It's, he says, this is a review, Bojam Navarasananda. Bojam Navarasananda. Bojam Navarasananda. Magna Kadasyam. He says, I'm eating, as Advaita Das, she says, I'm eating and eating your remnants, your Mohini remnants. Bojam, eating. Excuse me. And Dasara Sutaji, his translation, he says, I'm chewing and chewing. Charvita. Because there's 5 kinds of food, or 4 kinds. Chaturvidha Shri Bhajatema. 4 kinds of foodstuffs, that which can be licked or chewed or sucked or drunk. So here, in his meditation on this verse, what kind of anubhavas and experiences he got by meditating deeply in his own Manjari Swarup, or whatever his Swarup is, I don't even know. But the translator got the idea that Bojam means chewing and chewing. Another one says, generally means eating. Bog means food, which you eat. Bojam, Nava. Newer and newer tastes at every moment. So that was all about rewards. Now this verse is all about, today's verse, which is 76, is all about serving the sevas. And it's, you might say, power-packed with sevas. It's pratak lila. So now we have to not so much forget, but just put this aparan lila on another let's say, file, because now we're in the middle of Aparan Lila, Uttaragoshta Lila, from 3:36 to 6 o'clock. Krishna's coming back from Govardhan, or from Kunjara. After Radhakund, he runs to Kunjara, then he changes into clothes as Vish, Vishwasharma, the universal Brahman, Vishwa, then he runs off to Surya Kund to do puja for Radharani. And Jatila comes, everyone knows the Leela. And concluding that, that's the end of the Madhyan Leela. Then he's running back to Govardhan, back to Manasi Ganga, collecting all the coward boys and everyone, and going back to Govardhan Nandagram Varsana Road to his home at this time. We'll put that on another file, because now we're in Pratak Leela. Just think, now it's Pratak Leela. It's sunrise pastimes. When you wake up, you bathe, you dress, you ornament yourself. Obviously. So also Radharani Ji does the same. So here, I hope you can hear me, because there's no microphone. So Radharani, right now exactly, today, she's come to, I believe it's today, after Rasa Purnima, I think this day or next day, Sridham comes with a small coterie of soldiers, which I mentioned yesterday, and horses and a chariot, because Radharani is a princess. She's the queen of Prem and the princess of Vrishabhanu Nandini, Radhe. So Vrishabhanu sends his capable son, Radharani's elder brother, who has Vatsalya Bhav like every elder brother. And he gladly goes to pick up Radharani, not so gladly, but he goes to pick Radharani up, he takes Radharani from Varsana at this time and takes her back to Yavat, because she's just spent 3 months in Varsana for Julin and Ras and Maharas dance, which was last night, and now she spends 3 miserable months, 3 miserable months in Yavat Gram with her tortuous, suspicious sister-in-law, what's her name? Kutila, and her mother-in-law, Jatila. So she'll be there for 3 months, and then around holy time, actually it's Magh Sankranti, around January 22nd, towards the end of January, then Radharani will return to Varsana for holy hey, famous hey, pshoo. You've all played, I'm sure. Nowadays, you don't have to come to Varsana. You can play holy in Warsaw. Instead of Varsana, you can go to Warsana. There's Varsana and Varsana. If you're fortunate, you come to Varshana. My Guru Maharaj, my Vaish Guru, Pandit Sri Krishna's Babaji Maharaj, when we were visiting Varsana recently, I was sitting next to him in the car on the way back. And the 2 Baba Gurus are in the front driving. One was driving. And my Guru Bhais. And I said, because my Guru Maharaj stays in Prem Sarovar and Govardhan and Radhakund and here and there, is very restless. 97 years old. Very restless. So he was there, and we visited Vinod Baba at Prem Kunj, or what do you call it? Priya Kunj. I think it's Priya Kunj at Pili Pukur, and we went to look at some property for some Bhajan Kutir, etc., of some Guru Bhai. So on the way back, I said, Guru Maharaj, which place do you like the most? Where you stay, sometimes here and there. He said, Varsana. And I said, Acha. I said, why? He said, Prem Varsha. He said, like, Prem Varsha. Varsha means rain, and he said, because he always translates everything to English for those foolish people like me. Of course, that one's easy to figure out. But he said, here Prem is raining from the sky, like just this afternoon, last night, whatever. And Varsha means rain. So Radharani she's the reigning queen of Prema, and she's raining on everyone's head when we surrender at her feet. Reigning, R-E-I-G-N. The ruling queen of Prema. So he said, here in Varsana, Prema is falling. He said, Prema is falling from the sky. I thought, wow. And I was thinking, I said, what? And I said, in an Indian way, it's the way Indians speak, actually. I said, Radhakund, no? I mean, in the way you say it, the intonation indicates that it's a question. So I said, in other words, what about Radhakund? I said, Radhakund, no? Like, no frame there? He said, that's something. But here in Varsana, it's raining. Here it's sprinkling. It's like this, you go out, like sprinkle, then it's like a Mayapur, monsoon. So I said, oh, okay. And I guess if he had told me that about 25 years ago, we'd all be having this class in Barsana right now. Because at 77, I came here first, saw the place, fell in love with Radhakund, stayed 5 extra days alone, and then finally made it back by Ishwari's grace. But because I thought the prem was really raining here, although my second love was Barsana, no doubt. So I was really caught between the two. But the main choice, why I chose Radhakund over Barsana, is because of Sajati Snigdha. This is Sajati. This is the place of all our Bengalis, all our Bengali acharyas and Vaishnavas and all the Sadh Goswamis. And Barsana, I don't know, it must be somewhere here and there. Rupa Goswamis, Bhajan Kutirs, nothing, I don't know, must be somewhere. They go everywhere. But for sure, Nandagram, Pavan Sarovara, and Terkadam, Sevakunj, and for sure, Radhakund. So we want to be with our Ragatmika Janas. Now, Ragatmika Janas are the Sadh Goswamis. When Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and Rupa Goswami's Pad is telling Sajatiya Snigdha. We want to be in Sajati. We want to be with our family. This is our place. This place has been given to us. Barsana was already there. Nandagram was already there. It's been there for thousands and thousands of years. Radhakund has been here. Everything's eternal. But everything was visible 900, 1,000 years ago, long before Lord Chaitanya came here on his Agama Lila, which is the 500th anniversary on Purnima. Now, Kartika started, so Kartik Purnima of this year is 500 years celebration, because in the year 1515, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Agama means to come, and Gamana means to go. Gaman. When he leaves Puri, when Lord Jagannath is in Viraha, or Vichhed, in a mood like that of separation, and then in confinement with Lakshmi Devi externally, but there's a whole internal relationship. Shamsundar and Radharani are in separation. Rajendra Nanda and Shamsundar. So for those 10 days or 2 weeks that Jagannath's not giving darshan, and then Rath Yatra comes, Mahaprabhu and Radhabhav can't contain herself. So he leaves, he runs away, I can't bear it. And he runs away from Puri and goes to Alalanath. So that's called Alalanath. Alalanath, Gamana Lila, going to Alanath. That's the name, it's called a Lila. And the Acharyas write tikas and explain about the meaning of that Lila of Mahaprabhu. So this is Agama to come. And there's big celebrations going on in Vrindavan on Purnima and many days afterwards. So we're here. So let's just get on the point here, this verse. It's very nice. So now we're all together. We left Radhakund. We've gone to Yavat. And it's morning time. The sun is rising, pinkish sky. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning. And all these wonderful services. I titled this verse, The Mantri's Expertise in 6 Different Sevas. Because they're expert in so many sevas. So this verse is nice. It's Pratak Lila, as the first word indicates. Pratak pitapatam kada vyapayanam vyanyam shukasya panam kunje vismrita kunchikim apisama netam pradavami va badniyam kavarim yunajmi galitam muktavalim anjaye netre nagari Ranga kaischa pidaham anga branam va kada. Again we find this word kada. When. It's almost as if when you're leading a cow somewhere, you tie a rope around their horns. They don't put it around their neck. They put it around their horns. Some rope. And then they take the cow here and there from place to place. So this rope that's leading the cow means go, G-A-U, go, and go means Indriya. And so the rope is leading the cow, and the comparison is the rope is leading our senses. Wherever your senses go, your mind goes, and your body goes, you go, we go. So the analogy, the rope of this is The rope in this analogy is the word kada, kabe in Bengali and kada in Sanskrit. And that rope is leading us down the path of bhajan. This rope is leading us, is dragging us or pulling us down the path of Raganuga bhajan. When? Aspirations. A man, let's say a person is only as great as great as their ideals are. The greater your ideals, the higher your ideals, what you are striving for, what you are desiring, what you want to attain, and wish upon a star to attain. That higher it is, that's the greater person you are. Some people just want to eat. My aspiration is to eat. I have to get some food. But our aspiration is the lotus feet of Radharani and the Kunja Seva, Radha Govinda Yugal Seva. That's the highest possible attainment and the highest possible realization. So when will that happen? So everywhere, all of our acharyas are teaching, giving us this, hold on to this rope and go and run, come with me. When? When will I do these 6 sevas? When will I cherish your feet? When will I get your remnants? When will I, all these things, all these sevas are to be done by us. Sometimes we'll be alone with Radharani rendering these services in the Kunja, different services. Sometimes we'll be with our Guru Sakhi or a couple mandris in our Parivar. Sometimes we'll be with the Nitya Sakhis, like Rupa and Rati Mandri, and our Guru Mandri and ourselves. Or sometimes ourselves and Rati. All these combinations are possible for the mandris. So these books are especially everywhere, always they're oftentimes they have a vision. They're meditating on Pratak Leela. He's meditating on Pratak Leela, recalling the descriptions in Krishna Bhavanamrita, and especially Govinda Leelamrita, which is like the Mukhya, the main book for Leela Smaran, Govinda Leelamrita. And there are other books that are combining a few books together called Gutika, combination. And they very much, so he's meditating on Pratak Leela, then he's seeing all these services that I'm doing. But you can trace out, if you look in Radha Krishna Ganadesh Deepika or other places, that many of these services that this particular mantri, in this case we can just say Sadak Mantri, like we're Sadak Mantris, Sadakas. And then these services that are mentioned are already done eternally since time immemorial by the Pran Sakhis of Radharani, which are the intimate, there's different ideas about what this means, but by the mantris, kinkaris. And sometimes they say there's 2 divisions, the Pran Sakhis and Nitya Sakhis. They're all Nitya. But we as sadhakas in perfection will kind of slide into the category of Nitya Siddha Sakhis. We're not Nitya Siddhas, we're Sadhana Siddhas by category. We've achieved perfection by eons and eons of lifetimes of Raganuga sadhana practice, practically speaking. So these services are being done eternally, brushing hair, all these things is telling, when can I bind your hair braid? But here is Shripad, he's saying, I'm doing it, because this is the whole nature. The complete spiritual paradigm of Radha and Krishna's Astakali Leela is the completely open circle. Everyone has every line, that's why they say parivar, every family. Parivar means family. There's Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, and there's so many families, and you have all your associates that you serve together with. So you have your Yuteshwari and Radharani. So every group will have their own Radharani, and there's so many branches of Nityananda Parivar, for example, coming from Janava, coming from Bir Chandra, and then coming from their disciples, and coming like this. And they all have their Guru Parampara and their Guru Sakhi Parampara. They're all going to have their own Yoga Pit and their own Rasastali and with their own Lalita and with their own Ananga Manjari. That's how it is. That's why it's called the family. So now you have a family, you have your grandfather and great grandmother and uncle and cousins. Sometimes you get together in some big functions, or at least in old days, really old days, whatever, when families got together. And they say, oh, my cousin. So you're aware of them, and sometimes you come together. But in the spiritual dynamics, it's totally individual. They go so far, Acharya say there's one Radha and one Krishna for every sadhaka. Your own very Krishna. Who's in your living room in your temple? You're Krishna, and you're Radharani, Giriraj, Gorindai, whatever, whoever there. Let's say Radha and Krishna. That's our Ishta. Radha and Krishna, Radha Govinda Yugo. So you'll take them with you there. They'll be there. They're with you here. They came from there to be with you here. They came from there to be with you here. To come in. They came out of your heart from there to here for your puja. And now they'll go back into your heart and take you from your heart to them, to there in the spiritual world. And again, you'll be with them eternally. Don't ask me to repeat that. But this is the actual logical sequence if you keep up with it. So it's that sweet, that personal, that intimate, and more. Because that question can be asked, because I asked it. And I got the answer. So I'm sharing it. I said, how is it? I mean, the Rupa Manjari is Radharani is not just waiting for me to become a Premi Bhakta and waiting for me to enter the Leela and to braid her hair. Someone's braiding her hair for the last eternal time. Oh, I've been waiting for you. Boy, my hair has been a mess for millions of years. Oh, I've been meditating and now Lita taught me. I've been Boma Vrindavan and Lita taught me how to brush your hair. My debut, my job interview. Let me see if I can pass the interview. Then, very good job. Okay, Lita, you're fired. Lita, you're fired. You go work somewhere else. No, it's not like this. We have a new worker here. So I said, how is it? I mean, and it's clear. I mean, there's so much praman for it. It's not imaginative philosophy or speculation. Because our praman is the Srimad Bhagavatam, Avalam Puranam, Amalam Gyanam, Paramahamsa Samitam. The Srimad Bhagavat is our Bible, if you want to call it that. That's not fair because the Bible is very limited compared to the Bhagavatam, which is unlimited. Unlimitedly unlimited. But there we find that Narada Muni and Dwarka Leela, although it's Dwarka Leela, it gives some more insight into the nature of Krishna's Madhurya Leela and Braj, which of course is primarily, it's an ocean full of Madhurya Sagar, Madhurya Sindhu. But in the ocean there's sometimes waves, sometimes tidal waves. And there's little waves here and there just tossing you here and there, and you're riding on your surfboard or you're swimming, you're enjoying. And sometimes the waves come so big you run. You run for your life. No question of riding those waves. Those waves will wash you away and destroy you and your village and house and everything. They're called tidal wave, Tufan, Tusami, or whatever they call it, these things. So these tidal waves in the ocean of Madhurya, these tidal waves are Krishna's display of Aishvarya. Tidal wave means big, big wave. Super, super big. Bigger, way bigger than your house. Just wash away boats and whales and everybody. And villages and islands. Tidal wave. So they come, but then they disappear into the ocean of sweetness. So the Krishna, when he dances in the Ras Leela, then he expands himself. His one form, his eternal one form that never leaves Radharani is always with Radharani. And his Purnatam, Rasaraj. But then he expands his Prakash expansions and Vaibhav, and they dance to all the other Sakis and Manjaris and Nitya Siddha Sakis, etc. Or Sadhana Siddha, not Sadhana Siddha Sakis. They enter the Ras Leela. Like the Shruti Charis or the Dandakaranya sages or whomever. So when Narada Muni went to Dwarka, then he went from palace to palace. He expanded himself into 16,108 forms. Simultaneously, same minute, 11 a.m. So 11 a.m. he went to 16,000 Naradas, went to 16,000 palaces. And he went at exactly the same time, our watch time, 11 o'clock. And he saw Krishna, one palace doing evening pastime, and another one he was sleeping, another one he's playing chess, all different pastimes throughout the day. And then there were 16,000 Krishnas, 16,000 Vasudevas, 16,000 Devakis, 16,000 Balarams. In every palace, the whole entourage was there. Rukmini was one in her palace. One Rukmini. And then Narada went there and he saw Krishna's father and his mother, and everybody was also there. Vasudeva, Devaki, Balaram, everybody was there also. All the servants. And then he went to another one, would say Satyabhama. So Rukmini wasn't there, she was there. But there, Satyabhama and Krishna, and then Vasudeva. It's like, so this is the Aishvarya of Krishna. So that same thing, that Rukmini is one, and she's with Krishna. So you're the Sadhaka Jeev. and you attain siddhi. Then you enter the spiritual world. That palace of Rukmini becomes your sevakunj of your parivar, of your Sakhi parivar, your Guru parivar. So in that kunj, for example, say we'll take Nityananda parivar. It's the largest over here, or in all of Gaudiya. So they're all gathered together on the petal, or you can say area of Rupa Manjari, because that's the main manjari for that parivar Nityananda. And that's in the north side. They're positioned in the north side of Radhakund as a kunja, or in the north side of Yogapith. And then they're at the feet. They're all at the feet behind them, and the next petal, lotus petal. Next petal behind them is Lalita, because they're together, Rupa and Lalita, or Rati and Vishaka, like this. So when you get there, you'll sit there, you'll say Nityananda Parivar, and you come there. You'll be sitting. Oh, Rupa Manjari, Shri Rupa Manjari Pada, say more Sampada. There's Rupa Manjari, and then what? And then who's after Rupa Manjari, then it would be Ananga Manjari, and then that means Janava, and whoever Janava initiated, it comes down to your guru, your guru to Janava, Ananga. So it'll be Janava in her Sakhi form. She's not a Manjari, she's named Manjari, but she's a Sakhi. That's told in Radha Krishna Ganadesh Deepika. She's a Parama Preshta Vara Sakhi, and the Asa Sakhis are Parama Preshta Varishta. Like, Vara means Govardhan, or Vara means extra, special, large, and Varishta means really big and large. So that's very clear. Only by name she's a Manjari, because no other Manjari has their own private kunja to take Krishna for conjugal vilas and many things. So there'll be Rupa Manjari, who is main, and then Ananga will be under, and Ananga works, and then there will be your whole Guru Parampara, and that's it. And Radha and Krishna and the other Asasakis, and your Brindadev, and your Purnamasi, and Yogamaya Purnamasi, and your Madhumangal, and your Subal, and your Sridham, and this whole thing. And this is how you meditate, and this you're practicing now. This is the family I'm living with and serving with. That's why Raghunath Das Goswami Pad, he wrote the book Brajavilas Stav, and also following his line of thought, then Brajavriti Chintamani was produced by Vishwanath Chakravarti Pad 200 years later, to familiarize everyone with the family members of their family. And you see there's descriptions there of Pavana and Nanda and Kirti, and all there's prayers to Kirti Ma, Radharani's mother, and Purnamasi and Ambika, and different personalities that will be part of the family, Seva family, Prem Seva family. So it's very personal, and these books are very important to cultivate. Of course, if one has a guide, some guide, and it's a lot easier. Otherwise, it may be a little confusing. So this verse is, let's get to this verse, this translation. It says, Netre Nagari, O Nagari, O lady love, when can I take Krishna's yellow cloth that you mistakenly took with you in the morning at about just before 6 o'clock, pony che, 5:45 in the morning, when you ran out of the kunj, you mistakenly grabbed Krishna's pitambara cloth. I will take that from your body and give you another garment. So that's one service. When can I run out to bring? Go back to the kunja to bring the blouse. So this is Shripad aspiring and meditating on the service, and you find Rati Manjari, Tulsi Manjari, Raghunath Das also meditating on this service, and you find Vishwanath Chakravarti Pad also meditating on this service. When will I run back and get Radharani's kanchuli, her choli, and blouse? So that means then the next thing is, 500 years ago, it was Rupa Manjari and this Shripad and Manjari Swarup, and then first of course Rupa Manjari, and then Shripad gets the idea, and then he writes about it. Then 200 years later, Vinod Vallabhi Mandri, Vishwanath Chakravarti, he writes about. So now it's 2013. So this, what they write repeatedly, you'll find the same Seva meditation described so many places by the Nitya Parishads of Radha and Krishna Yugal. So now this is, Radharani, when will you order me? Your agya, your order, your command. Please go back, run back to that kunja. And there's no like, wait a minute. We just came from Vrindavan. It's 45 kilometers from Vrindavan to Barsana. I'm tired. We didn't sleep at all practically last night. We just ran all the way home as fast as possible so you wouldn't get caught by your mother. And now you're asking me to run back 45 kilometers because it doesn't take any time. As soon as they leave, they step out and then they're right there in the kunja and they turn around and come back. Because time and space do not cause problems in the spiritual world. But time and space create lots of problems in this world. Lots of problems. Time and space. There, time and space exist as part of the servants of the Leela. But everyone knows the analogy, the lotus opens and closes. So my five fingers are 5 petals of a lotus. So this whole hand, my whole hand is Braj. So when my hand is open, then the fingers are far away. So each finger is a forest. There's 12 forests in Braj. So when Krishna wants Jatila to be really far away from Radhakund, and then when she's over here in Yavat, and she has to come down here to my palm to Radhakund, so she has to go all the way down to get to Radhakund. But when Radharani has to run from, back, then the hand closes, and then this is Radhakund and this is Barsana. But when I go like this, then it's a big jump. So the lotus is opening and closing according to the needs. So Radharani wants her Kanchuli, like now, it's time to get dressed, and or her mother may come in and what to say. So then the mantra, it's almost like a movie. Movie scenes change like this. You're watching a movie, 1 minute they're in the car, next minute they're dancing in the ballroom. You thought, wait a minute, how'd they get from the car to the, because it's happening so fast, they don't show you the stairs, they don't show you parking the car, he's driving the car, okay, and they get out and all of a sudden, and they're walking into the dance hall. Wait a minute. There's no scene of them closing a door or walking up the stair. It happens so fast you don't realize that things are jumping. So even movies give some impression of, because movies are a whole manipulation of time and space to create that effect. Many scenes, many places, all crammed into 1 hour. Oh, it's amazing. So that it's like this. So then you run back and bring that choli. So when will I do this? So it's kada. When can I bind your hair braid, restring your broken pearl necklace, paint eyeliner around your eyes, and cover up the bruises caused by Krishna's lovemaking on your body with colorful substances like musk or vermilion? So if you add these up, there's 6 different sevas, and they're all follow-up sevas, because that's why Shripad, he's indicating the entire bhav, the entire mood, because seva, every seva rendered to Radha and Krishna, especially to Radharani, there's a context of what are you preparing Radharani for some particular pastime, or are you serving you're preparing for a pastime about to occur and preparing Radharani, you're preparing the seva stali by doing seva, or are you serving Radharani after that particular pastime? So this is called the aftermath. I mean, they bomb the city and they blow up the city with bombs. Then after the war, what happens? Well, you got to clean up the mess and all that and rebuild. So here, he says, "Hey Nagari," is at the last line, but this is here in the first. Hey Nagari, lady love. So Nagari means a erotic romantic lover. Nagari. He doesn't say, "Hey Patni," "Hey wife." He says Nagari. Nagari implies that there's no marriage. So Nagari means someone that engages in wild, erotic, intimate, loving affairs. So in that frenzy of enjoyment, then the next day there's no time to fix up, make up, patch up, and tie up everything. So she just runs, because if time passes anymore, she'll get caught on the footpaths of Braj by some superior elder, or her father, or mother or father going out to the pastures or the barn or the Goshala, or grandfather, whomever. So then she runs. The main thing now is get home and jump in bed and yeah, Puramasya Kirtida, Maya. This, but the manjaris have so many last-minute things to do, like some pujari only has 1 minute till the doors open up for greeting the deities. Every pujari knows that excitement. I've been in Vrindavan temple doing sevas like that before the darshan, or in my own temple, so I've lived there. It's in your heart. Everything has to be on time, exactly like this. And so here you can imagine the manjaris have a lot to do. So these 6 services are there. So he's saying Nagari because all these services are a follow-up after Radharani spent the night in lovemaking. So her hair is all loose, she forgot her clothes, and it says the eyeliner, all her kajal is lost and was just kissed off her eyes by Krishna's lips and rubbed off, and her pearl necklace is broken. I mean, when you're walking down the street, your pearl necklace doesn't go boink and doesn't fly off. It doesn't just break, but in various exchanges with Krishna, somehow it got broken. And what to speak, where are the pearls to begin with? And then there's all kinds of scratches and bites here and there, and they have to be disguised. Just like, lady has a pimple on her forehead, she puts some powder, on her face, puts something in there and goes to the party. I'm so happy, Whatever. Or maybe men do too, I don't know. But probably they do. But somehow we have to, it's called cover-up, makeup, this, that, the other thing. So therefore, Radharani has to cover up. It says here, I have to cover up the bruises, because Radharani is this beautiful, beautiful, butter soft, golden skin. Not skin as we know it, but golden body and beautiful complexion, a transcendental form of Srimati Radharani. But then her mother says, "Oh, what's this mark here? This looks like some bruise," and they roll off the flower bed. I mean, it gets like that. So when it's not some a waltz or some ballet dance. I mean, it's quite a rough experience. So they have to somehow mix up different earth powders and oils, make some kind of dye like a paste. Just like sometimes people play Krishna in some drama, and there's some white lady from Germany or something. So they have to paint her up, she becomes blue, because she's not blue, I don't think so. But they make her, they put all kinds of shoe polish or whatever it is, makeup to make her look blue. Or the lady maybe not very shiny gold, so they make her more golden somehow. And it's in drama and theater to give that effect and create the effect in the audience, and it's nice. So it originates there. Radharani is, then, because when the mother comes in, she fondles the child. Oh, Radharani, okay, just like you see the beautiful description of Yashoda waking up Krishna. It's so beautiful. She leans her right arm over his body, her left arm, and then she's leaning over and touching him, and it's very nice. So Kirtida does the same thing. Radharani's always her little baby. So Radharani, she says, "Oh, Radharani, oh," and if she sees all these black and blue marks and this and that, "Oh, what's happened?" Oh, she'll be so disturbed. And so devotees never want to put another devotee in distress or cause anxiety or disturbance to another devotee's heart or mind by their speech or by their actions. This is a sign of love. When you love someone, you care so much for them that you want them to always be in a peaceful, happy mood as much as you can. Things are not in our hand, are not under our control. A devotee means one who's devoted to God and devoted to God's presence in everyone and everywhere. So therefore he's very caring and loving with whomever he meets and whomever he treats. So Radharani's thinking, I don't want my mother to be worried or disturbed, and so this is important services. So we can just discuss some of these points that what it's telling in the purport here, which I just took notes. This is, of course, by, as I mentioned, Madhusudan Dasadikari and Prabhupada Nanda Gopal Goswami. They wrote the original commentaries on this book, and then they were studied by and elaborated on and let's say added to by Srila Anantadas, Babaji Maharaj. So all three are blended together here in what we have in front of us. So he's saying that in this, there's two time periods here. There's the time, he's saying that Nishant Leela, pastimes at the end of night, 336, and then also in Pratak Leela, he says, there's two Yama time period. Yama means time sequence, time period, described by Sripad Prabodhananda Saraswati. They're seen in his meditation Kinkari form. There's two separate waking up Leelas, because she wakes up in the Kunja, like the giving of the yellow cloth. Radharani runs out of the Kunj with the yellow cloth, but she doesn't run out of the Kunj without her makeup. There's no such thing as a lady running out of her Kunj without makeup. Right? It's like, oh, you run out. I mean, the rasa dance, and now Radharani's not running to the rasa dance, she's running to her mother-in-law. So when you're running to your mother-in-law, you're not going to forget an earring or put the top of your dress on the bottom or whatever we'll hear about in Rasa Leela. You're going to remember because your mother-in-law will look at you and check, because she's already so suspicious. So she sees the slightest hair out of the proper place or the slightest mark. What is this? What happened? What did you? Who caused this? What is this? So all these patching and covering the wounds of the battle wounds from the love war, and all these replacing the nice kajal, that's done in the kunja, and that's also described there. So two separate waking up leelas of the divine couple. Waking up together, Radha and Krishna and Nishant Leela at around 6 a.m. in Brajani Kunjas. And then the Pratak Leela at sunrise around 6 to 8:30. Radha and Krishna are separately rising from their beds, and they're very nicely described, of course, in the Leela Granths, like Govinda Leelamrita. They're rising from their beds in Yavat and Nandagram. The verse describes 6 different sevas, beginning with Nishant Leela and Brajani Kunja. And he gives a beautiful narration of these pastimes, taken from Govinda Leelamrita, along with the sevas described in this verse. We usually cover verses, as I mentioned. There's about 42, 44 verses in this Radharas Sudhanidhi, which are specifically indicating Manjari's sevas, Manjari's position, Manjari's glories, and the glories of Radharani in her relationship with Radharani. The Manjari's relationship with Radharani. And those are indicated by words like Radhadasyam or Kinkari or Anucharani or Paricharika, which are all words which mean dasi, the word dasi, servant. And these words aren't used when talking about the Sakhis, Asa Sakhis, or Priya Sakhis, or Priyanarma Sakhis, Paramapresha Sakhis. So this particular verse doesn't have any of those names. So as I mentioned, some of these sevas may also be done, and are also done, by Radharani's Paramapresha Sakhis, like the Asha Sakhis. But in this particular case, the Acharyas, all three Acharyas, are telling that it's all being done. And of course, in other places, it's indicated that Rupa Manjari is going to get Radharani's choli, and so there's never any instance, particularly this seva, running back to get Radharani's choli is never done by a Sakhi, because Radharani would be too embarrassed. This is a very, very secret thing. No, they don't even know. The Lalita Vishaka, they don't even know, because Radharani's all wrapped up with Krishna's yellow cloth, and everyone's running so fast and so panicky and worried and looking this way and that way, and they're not really looking at each other or what's going on with each other's dress. But the Manjaris are alert, and they're one with Radharani's feelings and needs and desires, and completely so. And the Sakhis are not like that. So then, in confidence, they know, oh, this Radharani, and only they see it. When everyone runs out of the kunja, the Manjari, she notices it. It may be Rupa Manjari, it may be Rati Manjari, it may be Shripad Manjari Srup, or you, or any Manjari. Oh, and then she immediately catches it then. Or if she runs out, then she'll, what it says here, they'll run back and get it for Radharani. So this service is clearly done by a manjari. But other services, putting kajal on Radharani's eyes, braiding her hair, we even see this is being done by Chitra and Lalita and Vishaka and others. But the total verse together is considered that all these 6 sevas were being done by the manjaris. The verse clearly describes the sevas rendered by Radharani's dearest maidservants like Tulsi Manjari and Shri Rupa. The sevas described in this verse, because they're not in chronological sequence. Chronology means by time. Because he says, when can I take your yellow cloth? But that first Radharani has to wake up in the kunj and get her kajal put on, get her hair braided, and then later, when she's waking up again in Varsana or Yavat, then she has the yellow cloth on her. And of course the pastime is described that Jatila comes in and Purnamasi says, "Oh, I saw Krishna last night wearing this yellow cloth. Why are you wearing..." No, it's Mukura, Radharani's grandmother. She comes in every morning to wake up Radharani with not Kirtida but Mukura and Purnamasi by chance. So Mukura says, "Oh, Radharani, what am I seeing? Last night I saw Krishna wearing the same yellow cloth, and now I see it draped across your chest, and you're just waking up with that. How has such things happened to such a chaste family as ours?" And then Vishaka, I think it's maybe Vishaka, she looks and she sees that yellow cloth, and they say, "Oh wow, we forgot that. We were so worried about putting Radharani's makeup, everything on. We forgot about this Krishna Prasadi Vesh." And she's very quick, and she looked at, and the sun was rising through the lattice window of the palace bedroom of Radharani. It was coming in, just shining on the bed. And then Vishaka, very quick, you have to be very quick-witted. She said, "Oh, look, Mukura, see the sun rising. The bright rays of the morning sun are shining through Radharani's lattice window of her bedroom and falling on her clothes." And then Mukura looks, "Oh yeah." And then Vishaka pulls away that yellow cloth of Krishna and puts a blue one there of Radharani, the chunari. And then Mukura turns around, and Vishaka, now understanding everything's under control, she says, Look, Mukura, why are you accusing our chaste Radharani, our Sati Shiromani Radharani? She's the crest jewel of all satis, of all chaste ladies. Why are you wrongly accusing her of some impropriety? Can't you see this is her blue cloth? Just as the rays of the sun shining through on her blue cloth gave it a yellow look. It appeared to be yellow to your eyes. And she was very embarrassed. Mukura was very "Oh, what did I say? I shouldn't have said that." And she was so embarrassed. She said, Okay, I'm getting very old now. I think my eyes aren't working. I must be going blind. Okay, I better go now. And then she runs away because he says, turning red with embarrassment. So she ran away. So like this happens after, but it's first thing in the verse. So that's what the Tika is saying. That apparently, and why is that? The question is, well, why? Because usually things are somewhat systematic and sequential. So appreciating Shripad's desire. He said they're not according to time. He was spontaneously, in other words, he was meditating, and he was in his meditation of Leela Smaran, he was spontaneously blessed with the darshan of these Leelas, and then immediately recorded them as they unfolded on the screen of his love-drenched pure heart, which it says here. Like the heart, the heart is like a movie screen, cinema screen, the heart, and these love-drenched Leelas were unfolding and revealing themselves in his heart as he was meditating. Because you're meditating, just like when you're sleeping, unconscious and sleeping, your mind goes here and there and here and there and this scene and that scene, and you wake up and say, what? Where was I? I was flying this way and then going that way and then jumping off there and going there. And many scenes and movements can be there, and they don't seem very connected, except that it's your dream and you're doing something or experiencing something. So it's not less. Person is awake, he's fully conscious, but deeply absorbed in a meditative trance. And at this level of having this vision, that means a very high state of pure consciousness and pure mind. We could say bhav and prem. But even any practitioner of meditation, he starts meditating on a lila, as he knows that's described in the books. And he's meditating and seeing, and something else may come into his mind. So that's what the commentators are saying, that he was sitting down, okay, I want to meditate now. Now this is pratak time, because he says now the book in front of him, it's all in his mind. But it's not like a machine. He says, okay, Radharani's in she's in Yavat. I always want to say Barsana because I don't like Yavat. But the fact is she spends half the year at Yavat. So so I'm meditating, Radharani's waking up. And then immediately it just comes. This is Yogamaya. And that's why without the blessings of Yogamaya, one can't enter the Leela. And that's told everywhere. And then in the Rag Marg, oftentimes some gurus, they give Yogamaya mantras or Yogamaya Gayatris. Not all. But that's not that one necessarily has to have a Yogamaya mantra or Yogamaya, but he does have to have the blessings of Yogamaya because she arranges all the Leelas. So we pray to Yogamaya. We can just pray. There's mantras to glorify Purnamasi and Yogamaya written by our acharyas, and we can speak those and pray, just pray our own individual prayers that we're meditating. Oh, please reveal this to my mind. On the screen of, one of you say it, on the screen of my heart. I don't know about love-drenched heart. Let's leave that part out. But on the screen of my heart, please let these pastimes unfold in a very deep and profound way, so I can perceive them at some level and to some degree as I recall them in my mind. So while doing that, Yogamaya or the Leela Shakti, you sit down and meditate, and all of a sudden you catch a piece of the Leela, and that's what's being said here, that Yogamaya just threw this Leela into his mind, his meditative mind, Shripad. And it's kind of helter-skelter, or not in sequence. Same thing is there in Bhagavad Puran, when Shukadeva Goswami is narrating to Parikshit Maharaj in the Krishna book. He's talking about this Kurukshetra, he's talking about this Rajasuya Yagya, that Krishna's going there and washing the feet of the kings, and he was elected to be worshipped. But this pastime, it came before some other pastime, but out of his ecstasy, Shukadeva Goswami was just glorifying Krishna, and then all of a sudden he remembered, oh yeah, that rascal Shishupal, and Krishna cut his head off. Then he starts talking about that, but that Leela is supposed to come, later. And then he so it goes like this and like that, and it's like jump this way, then jump that way, then back like this. So this is what happens with the devotees. So the verse starts with Pratak Leela, and the Manjari services therein. Then it flashes back to Nishant Leela, because it's Pratak Leela when Radharani's cloth is changed. And then it flashes back into Nishant Leela in the Kunjas. And the Manjaris are rendering service at that time. To more clearly understand the flow, we will discuss the verse parts according to the Leelas. The Leela starts like this, and then I'm just reading from the book because it's very nicely told here. And we can try to just think about it. The time is Nishant Leela, pastime at the end of the night, around 5:30 in the morning, which is about an hour, like now it's about an hour before sunrise. This is 45 minutes before sunrise. It's the end of the night. Radha and Krishna are fast asleep in the bower house. A soft Malayan breeze is blowing, carrying a fragrance of blooming flowers from the vines wrapped around the Kadamba trees inside that grove. All kinds of bumblebees are intoxicated and excited. They're buzzing around the flowers, which are full of honey. Birds are beginning to sing softly and very sweetly, which is all the arrangement of the Lord. It's the natural alarm clock. Nature's alarm clock for the human beings, or maybe all the creatures. Maybe even the monkeys wake up with the birds. The monkeys, they get up around sunrise, but after the birds. So it seems that the birds and the bees, they have the duty of waking up the other living entities. We're focusing our view here on human beings, because this is the Naratva Leela of Radha and Krishna, and our own experience when we live in a country or a place like that if we're sleeping a little too late, by chance, then or whatever, then you hear the birds and then you wake up. It's so nice. And they don't sing all that much. It's not all day long they're making noise. They're pretty quiet. Usually it's sunset a little bit, and then in the day they feel like singing, they do. But their duty, for sure, they're ordered by Super, so okay, sing, wake up the human beings, you're part of this is your seva. It's very nicely orchestrated. Krishna, this whole Jagat Leela is actually very beautifully arranged. So here and there, it's the same. Radha and Krishna are sleeping in their flower bed, and they don't have to go to Mangalarti. They don't have to rise and take a bath and go to Mangalarti, because their Mangal, every moment is Mangal for them. She's Mangalishwari. She's Mangalishwari and Mangalishwara. They're the controllers and king and queen of all auspiciousness. She's Kalyani Kalpacharu. Radharani is a wish-fulfilling tree of all auspicious. Kalyani is a beautiful name of Radharani, Kalyani. And Kalyan, it means auspiciousness and good qualities and everything good. We glorify Guru that way, that he's Kalyan. Kalyana Gunana Vatvam. So this is the scene. And the manjaris wake up and collect all the paraphernalia for their seva, and the hairs on the bodies of the manjaris are standing up in ecstasy. Why? Because of the udipan of seeing Radha and Krishna, the divine couple, through the holes in the foliage. Wow. Wow. So this is the special, and their ecstasy means saptik vikar. Their stai rati, their bhavalas rati, their intimate, excessive love for Radharani, and their madhur rati for Krishna and Radha together. And they see them so in their fatigued condition, just lying hair here and there, and nose rings, and Krishna's hair and Radharani's nose ring, and her arm like this and like that, and just some soft light in the corner, the kunja coming through, and so beautiful scene. So when they see the matchless beauty of the divine couple, they become ecstatic. So you can just by darshan, it's called, what's it called? It's called asbab, it says in the devotion, but just by seeing one can be in ecstasy. By hearing, Shravanananda, Alokananda, Aloka means eyes, Alokananda, just seeing the beauty of the divine couple, you can be in bliss, saptik bhavs. Your whole stairati gets excited, and your heart jumps, and then the airs of your life airs, the transcendental life airs and prana of your transcendental body start moving, and then your skin becomes tight, and when your skin tightens because of the joy that's rippling through your heart and mind, then your hair stands up on end because the skin tightens like this. The only time we experience hair standing on end is when we're walking to Mangalarti and Raman Reti at Radha Shamsundar Mandir, and some dogs come out, and it's Amavasya, and they go, ah, ah. Your hair goes, ring, and on your arms like this. You ever have it? That's an ecstatic symptom. It's due to the gonarati of bhayam, fear. You're basically, when we're going to Mangalarti, our basic stairati is dasyarati. We're the servants of our guru. He said, go to Mangalarti. So that's our dasyarati, our servitude. And then the symptoms, these udipans appear. These stimulating, exciting features, like a barking of the teeth of a dog, and a barking dog, And then your anubhavas, or your legs start, anubhavas, their physical reactions, your legs start moving and you start running. But your hair is also standing up, so the sattvic bhava is your hair standing up, and your voice gets choked, and you're, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. You start shouting, and maybe you're crying, and you're perspiring if you're running fast. And there are 5 dogs are chasing you. So this is an experience of prakriti ras, jada ras, from this material body. There's also ras. It's not a ras is not a foreign thing to us, but alokik ras, transcendental ras, is very distant. That's only in the transcendental divine body, and that least spiritualized body saturated with Bhava Bhakti. So I think it's time, but we'll just read a little bit more, a minute or so. So the birds are the parrot couple. Brinda Devi is engaging a parrot couple, awakening a divine couple, and they're singing nice, softly singing Sanskrit verses. When Radha and Krishna rise, their eyes are still filled with sleep, and you know what that is. Look in the mirror when you wake up. When you go in the bathroom in the morning, oh, what is this? Who is that? That's me? No, it's not me. They never. Oh yeah, that's me. So they have some different look. It says it. They have the faces like this, and then I'm so close. It's all out of focus. Their eyes are still filled with sleep. Sleepy eyes. You have this phrase. Oh, you have sleepy eyes. Their hairs and clothes are still disheveled from making love. Radhika has Krishna's yellow cloth on her body, and Krishna has Radhika's blue cloth on him, but they don't notice it. The manjaris enter the kunj and begin their blessed services of giving water, because they must be very thirsty after. If you fight a battle all night, if 2 soldiers are fighting a war all night, in the morning they'll be really thirsty. So these 2 soldiers, when you're fighting in the war, there's no time. Excuse me. You'll be shot. You have to be watching at every moment. So when they're in the middle of a battle zone, I mean, it's a war zone. It's like danger in there. Bombs dropping everywhere, fireworks, bullets, everything, bites, explosions, bombs. So there's no time. So then nice kaffir-scented rose water and with nice honey mixed in or whatever, all kinds of different beverages, wake-up drinks, invigorating wake-up drinks. That manjaris may be expert in making those things. One of our friends got initiated the other day, and their guru, and that's just by funny coincidence. And I guess the guru knows everything. That's what they say. They said, your service is pakana. And I never heard that one so much. And then I didn't know that word. I mean, it's a Hindi word, but it sounds like what it is. But your service is cooking. The person's a very good cook. I mean, in this realm. And the guru, I don't know. They know that, but anyway, they were given that as their nitya seva cooking. So the manjaris are expert in preparing drinks and all these things. So they don't notice that. So they're doing their services and they're arranging the divine couple's hair and clothes. And Shripad in his kinkari form, which means manjari, he's also blessed with one of these services. She has the service of waking up Srimati. She says, "Oh Nagari," and she says, "Netre Nagari Rangakais Chapitaham." Oh Nagari, you're so expert in love play, but don't forget, and forget because of your deep absorption. We have to go home right now. Your girlfriends will come here at any moment, and if the Sakhis like Lalita or Vishaka see you like this, they will mock you and make fun of you. As they see you wearing Krishna's cloth and all disheveled. So please, what to speak of your family members and your parents, if they see all the signs of Krishna's love making on your body, this will be disastrous. Please wake up so we can dress you. In this way, the manjari tries to keep Srimati's attention on her dressing and ornamenting seva. How fortunate are these manjaris? The sadhaka should learn expertise and service from these manjaris and sakhis and become similarly fortunate. So what's being said there is that we learn. How do we learn? By reading. Oh, this is the sevas that are being done by the manjaris. And then we become fortunate when Baba fills our heart and we can have spurtis ourselves at that wonderful rare time, because it itself is very rare. That's one of the characteristics of Baba Bhakti, Sidurlava. Moksha Lagutakrit. Moksha Lagutakrit means that moksha, when you're full of Baba, what is moksha? Moksha, Sarupya Mukti, Salokya Mukti, Shashti Mukti, kuch nahi. Nadanam Najanam Nasundaram Kavitam Vajagadishakame Mama Janmani Janmanishwe Bhavatad Bhaktir Hoitikitwe Bhagavad Bhaktir Hoituki. I'm in Bhav and I'm serving Radha Krishna Yugal in my Manjari Srupa Vesh. What do I care about going to Vaikuntha? I don't care. Janmani Janmani Janmi, let me be born in this Brajadam. Let me be born as a daughter of a gopi and grow up as a Manjari and serving Radha and Krishna. Doesn't matter. So this level of bhava, we'll experience such wonderful ecstasy. So now we're practicing as a sadhaka, cultivating, developing the bhava by hearing about it, and it automatically comes into our heart by reading these books and reading these pastimes. I discussed this the other day, how that bhava comes in the heart. And the sevas, they become the shape of our mind. We say Krishna Das, so I am Krishna's eternal servant. Oh Krishna, please engage me in your service. Oh Radha, please engage me in your service. Well, what? What service do you want to render for my pleasure? What service do you want to do? Well, I sell books? Sell paintings? No, no. So then, I want, and some of these, as you read these services one after the other, in different times and places, different times of the day in different places, you may think, oh, I really like this. I mean, I want to do all these services, but this is very nice. I just picture myself like this. And you may find when that service may be revealed to you through the mercy of the holy name or other ways, but generally, traditionally, the guru will give the disciple familiarity with his Nitya Sarup, and then when he mentions, or she, whomever, generally he, let's say, the Guru mentions that Nitya Seva, then he may say the very Seva you've been cherishing before you even met that person, before you were given that awareness by the Guru. So we'll continue a little bit more with this verse tomorrow. Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Prabodhananda Saraswati Pada ki Jai, Shri Kartik Devi Radharani ki Jai, Shamakan Radhakundi Govardhana ki Jai. Radhe Radhe. This Radharasa Sudanidhi class, continuing with verse 88, discussing the topic of resolutions, the resolution of Radharani's Manjaris. Very beautiful verse, and just read the verse in translation and continuing with our discussion from yesterday. Yadi sneha radhe trishisi rati lampatya padavim gattam me sopreshtam tirapi mama nishtam shinu yata kataksher aloke smita sahacharya jatapulakam samashlashyam ucher atacha rasaye tvat padarasam. This verse describes, in essence, the love of Radharani for her Manjaris, the love of the Manjaris for Radharani, and it's an exchange of love. Radharani is showing how much she loves the Manjaris, and the Manjaris are showing how much they love Radharani, and in that exchange, Radharani is rewarding the manjaris with the greatest reward. What's the best thing you can give someone? That's God, Krishna. And said of all the charities that one can give, Anadan and Panidan, Kanyadan, Shastradan, so many types of charity one can donate or give. Giving grains, Panidan, giving water, Pani Pyal, water, giving away a virgin daughter, Kanyadan. All types of dhan, charity. But the best is told in the Puranas, the best of all charities is to give transcendental knowledge. Book distribution ki jai. But there's many ways to give transcendental knowledge. You can just sit down with someone somewhere and speak about Krishna, or to devotees. Kirti, Sankirtan. Speak the Kirti, the glories, the name. The Kirti means glories and fame of Krishna. And get many people speaking and many people chanting, then it's many means Sankirti. So this is the greatest charity. So and ultimately Krishna Katha is the greatest charity, but that leads one to Krishna. And you get the rare treasure, the great treasure of Krishna's love and Krishna's eternal association, eternal bliss and eternal seva, eternal loving relationship with the eternal personality of Godhead and your eternal, transcendental, beautiful, sweet, charming, divine body. So the ultimate gift, when it's all said and done, is to give someone Krishna. Krishna's name, Krishna's form, qualities, pastimes, diksha, swarup, etc. So Radharani says, I love my manjaris so much, what gift can I give them? What prize, what award can I give them? I have already given them my clothing, my jewelry. On many instances and occasions, Radharani has rewarded her manjaris for various services rendered by presenting them her personal cloth. It's called Prasadi Vastra. Radharani's Prasadi Vastra. Her clothing, her choli, her petticoat, her chunari, her necklace, her diamond necklace, her ruby earrings, her sapphire rings, no problem. We wouldn't think of ever donating such a thing to anyone. Very costly. But now she's thinking, now I want to give the ultimate of all rewards. I want to give Krishna. And this is what everyone is seeking in Vrindavan. Everyone is seeking Krishna in various relationships. So she sends the manjari, go and enjoy with Krishna. He's a lampat, a rati lampat. He will ravish you and enjoy you to the max. So the manjari says, all right, that's your gift, I accept it. I'm your dasosmi, dasyosmi. So we were mentioning yesterday, we were describing how this particular verse and many other verses in Radharasa Nidhi, Vilap Kusamanjali, and other verses by our Goswamis, they explain how the manjaris are experiencing Madhura Rati, the intimate conjugal exchange with Krishna as his lover, beloved. But there seems to be a certain limit or extent of how far they go, for lack of a better phrase, how much they get involved. I suppose if the manjaris had a Facebook, they would say, in a relationship, as people say. Everyone's in a relationship. The soul is in a relationship with the body, not a very congenial one either, usually. The soul is healthy all the time, never sleeps, always happy, and the body is hardly healthy and always sleeps and always has problems. So this is the nature. So let's explore this a little bit from other books and hear about how the manjaris experience Madhura Rati, and then how the acharyas commenting on this particular verse from Radharasa Nidhi give it, even the acharyas give it a twist. Prabodhananda Saraswati, like others, is saying this is what's happening, that they're enjoying Madhura Rati, some conjugal exchanges, embraces, kisses, exchanging tambul with Krishna, the manjaris. And then, the very surprising twist, a surprise ending to this Leela, which I'll read at the conclusion of the class, after we explore some of the other verses which give this view into the Manjari's private life with Radharani and Krishna. So this we heard here, Radharani's giving the order, Snehad Radhe Dishasi. Dishasi means Agya, order. Out of her affection, Radharani says, I love you very much. Can you imagine you had a girlfriend and you had a really, really super handsome, debonair, romantic husband? It's impossible to think about. We have these possessive feelings, and we have these, it's natural. Love means possessive feelings. It can't but be. So then, but imagine. So yeah, I love you. I have so much affection for you. Also, here you spend a night with my beloved. Oh wow, thank you. So that's what Radharani's doing with the Manjaris. You're my maidservant. You're in the palace. You're the queen, and the king is under your control. And you have so many dasis and maidservants that brush your hair and take care of your clothes and bathe you and serve you food, and your personal private cooks or whatever. And then you say, oh, you come, I like you. You're a nice servant. You're kind of cute. You go with the king tonight. Me? Okay, if you want, I'll do the needful. As Prabhupada used to say, do the needful. Do the needful. Well, here's an example from Nitya Leela of the Manjaris doing the needful. And she does it wonderfully and expertly, because she certainly has lots of good teachers around her, beginning with her Yuteshwari. Every Manjari is under a Yuteshwari. Rupa's under Alita, Rati's under Vishaka, etc. And they've seen their Yuteshwaris enjoying, they served their Yuteshwaris the most intimate moments of confidential union with their beloved Shamsundar, Priyatam Sri Shamsundar. And they've seen Radharani, who is Kalavati Radha. They've seen her expressing all the expertise and loving affairs that, and more so than are even presented by Bharat Muni in the Kama Sutras. Radharani is the origin of Kam, and she is Krishna's the original Kamadev, and she's the original Rati. So when the original God of love meets the original beloved, then lots of fireworks arise. Because they're the ultimate original lovers. Adi Purusha means he's not only the Adi Purusha, he's the Adi romancer. It says in Gita that Krishna is the source of everything. Ham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartate iti matva vajantimam buddhavava samanvitam. Everything comes from me. Love comes from me. Peace comes from me. War comes from me. Birth comes from me. Death comes from me. Sadness comes from me. Happiness comes from me. Erotic love comes from me. Illicit love comes from me. Married love comes from me. Illicit love comes from me. What doesn't come from Krishna? Mayatatam idam sarvam jagat avyaktimurtina, 9th chapter, Gita, verse 4. Everything is in me, but yet I'm outside of everything. Nothing exists without my awareness and my sanction. So now we see, this is Sripad in his Manjari Srupavesh, serving Radharani, and we also see in Govinda Leela Amrita, and here in Radhakund and Madhyan Leela, then Kasturi and Tulsi Manjari are fast friends. Here as sadhakas and there as siddhas, let's say, they're nitya siddhas, but they're playing the role of sadhakas to teach us, coming into Gaur Leela and Dasyarati, to teach us all about Raganuga Bhakti, Krishna's Kaviraj, Raghunath Das Goswami, Rupa Goswami. They're all Rupa Manjari. Kasturi Manjari is Krishna's Kaviraj. And Raghunath Das is Rati Manjari, or also Tulsi Manjari. Since Krishna's Kaviraj is so close to Raghunath Das, they live together at Shamakund and Manasapavan Ghat doing bhajan and sharing Harikatha and all the realizations and spurtis and visions and darshans of Radha and Krishna Yugal together for years, many, many years, 10, 20, 30 years, hearing from each other, associating with each other. That's the perfection of Matchata Matkata Pranas Bodhiyantas Parasparam Katayantas Chamaham Nityam Tushanti Cha Ramanti. How much, imagine, sit there in front of Vishnu's Chakravartipad's Bhajan Kutir, that also, but Raghunath Das or Krishna's Kaviraj, and imagine what kind of Tushyanti and what kind of Ramanti, Tushyanti Ramanti they had in their Krishna Katha, Bodhiyantas Parasparam. Inconceivable. So there they are very good friends, and when you read his rendition of Govinda Lilamrita, which was written before Chaitanya Charitamritam, by the way. Chaitanya Charitamritam was written very late, when his hand was shaking and he went to Madan Mohan, and he's all skinny and old and arthritis or whatever you get when you're old, you can't even write, can't even hold a pen. And everyone's asking him, you're such a great writer, you're such a great, you know about everything. You're so learned, you know everything about the Leela, and you're such a vast poetic writer of the Govinda Lilamrita, which is the Bible. It is the Bible for all Krishna's Astakaliya Leela. Many subsequent books are there, or even predecessor books, like Krishnaika Kaumudi was written much before. Probably the first Astakaliya Leela Shastra, other than the brief mention in Padma Puran. Padma Puran mentions Astakaliya Leela of Radha and Krishna, and also Sanat Kumara Samhita, but Sanat Kumara Samhita is somewhat debated about the authenticity of it, or at least certain parts of it, in the scholarly circle. If you want to get into that, all that whole level up there. At any rate, Padma Puran, it's accepted there in ancient editions. There is mention, so it's not a new thing. But Krishna's Kaviraj opened it all up and expanded it in his Govinda Lilamrita. So when anyone's discussing books or discussing the idea of Radha Krishna Leela Smaran and Raganuga Bhakti, the prime, the Mukhya Praman is Govinda Lilamrita. For example, Siddha Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj in 1870 or 80, 100 and some years ago, he was inspired by Radharani to explain the combined meditation of Gaur Astakali Leela and reveal it, and Radha and Krishna's Astakali Leela. So that's called Gutika. It's a blend presentation. And in that Gutika, Gaur Govinda Gutika, and there are other Gutikas. Srila Nanthadas Pandit has his Gutika, Madan Mohan has his Gutika, now Jai Haridas Baba just published a Gutika in Hindi some week or two ago. And they are basically very much similar to Siddha Krishnadasa's, but if you look there and you see all the references in Hindi or Bengali about the Leelas, 80% of them, or 85% are all from Govinda Lilamrita. Because everyone accepts this Krishna. Of course, we may have our favorites, but Krishna Bhavanamrita is also there, which presents some little different twist, two Krishnas in the Kunj. There's certain selected pastimes that are, again, Vishnu Chakravarti's unique offering to the world. And he has a long string of unique offerings and revelations, which he's honored for and respected for. So you can compare the two books, the different angle and the different leelas in both. And they both have their part to play, but the preference, when I asked my teacher about Leela Smaran, I said, there's many books, which do you recommend? Which have you been doing bhajan with? And his Babaji Guru and our Parampara. So he said, Govinda Lilamrita. Then I said, what about this? Govinda Lilamrita. So it's Sanskrit, and anyway, that's the general trend. So here in Govinda Lilamrita, in the Madhyan Leela, here at Radhakund in the beginning, I was explaining how the mantris are experiencing Madhurati with Krishna to some extent. But there are different levels in any loving affairs or conjugal intimate affairs of men and women, husbands and wives. It doesn't just start off with the grand finale, as they say. Every movie has a plot, and every movie has its scenes and sequences, and gradually building up to the final scene or whatever. life is like that. Everything builds up till the final moment. Haribo. There he goes. So whatever we're building, we hope it's solid and we hope it's Krishna conscious. At any rate, so many things, so you'll see throughout, if you're alert. So what happens here is Krishna drops his flute because he becomes bewildered by Radharani's praying, and the gopis pick it up, and it starts a whole leela called Vamshi Chori Leela. Maybe you portrayed this leela with your mandali, your, what do we call it, Braj mandali, or whatever it is. I think it's yours. Nice thing, very nice thing. Real good absorption. Hard seva, but really good absorption. Eat, sleep, and dream about Leela. That's intelligent. At any rate, so in this particular pastime, Krishna says, "Hey, where's my flute? He's my eternal companion." And where is it? We don't know. Oh, you dropped it when you were with Chandravali and Shaivya. You were bewildered by their loving charms, and you don't know where you left anything. And you're totally bewildered or intoxicated. You don't know where anything is. You go running out somewhere and leave everything behind. So then someone says, "No, I think you have it," and then it begins a whole search party where Krishna approaches one gopi after the other. He says, "I think you," and he approaches one gopi and she says, "I don't have it," and she goes like this, with the eye movement, "Hey, I don't have it." "I don't have. Why are you looking for me? We don't have your flute. Why are you bothering me?"
Govindam Hari Purusham Amandajami Nubandatam Paravimadashi Bhavatam Samasita Purushudaram Kanda Bhavanti Kamaya Vishashasharam Govindam Hari Purusham Ramaham Hari Yasasa Vyaviti Mati Vashanti Kavanti Sridhar Jagati Anapati Manasi Govindam Hari Purusham Govindam Hari Purusham Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radharani Hari Govinda Jaya Govinda Jaya Gopala Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radharani Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Raja Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Jaya Shama Sundar Jaya Radha Shama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much. Delicious cook. Very highly rolled. See you later.
Hare Krishna.
Please enjoy your prasadam.
Hare Krishna, Gurudev.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Shri
Krishna.
Gurudev.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Hare Bol.